New game? I felt beat. After a hardcore battle in my favorite MMO, my two teammates, Ink and Max, had to leave for a Halloween party. I had no interest in going out and spending my time in a drunken stupor. Honestly, my favorite part of Halloween were the exclusive Halloween outfits in LOO. I looked at the clock on my computer screen, 9 p.m. Apparently, I was getting old, as I was seriously considering going to bed. Who could that be? Pretty sure all the kids trick or treating were done by 6. Maybe kids these days stay up late. Oh man, did I just say kids these days? Maybe I really was getting old. Someone was interrupting my self-pity party. I trudged my way to the front door to open it. There's only one person who'll be ringing my bell at this time. I walked over to the door and opened it. Oh. Nessie, of course. She laughed. Hey, buddy, are you gonna let me in? What are you doing here? I thought I said you were going to the party today. Yeah, I am. Come on, Felix. Let me in. Fine, but what about your boyfriend? Although we've been best friends for a while, Nessie's boyfriend always got pissy when we hang out. Well, I mean, you're another guy. And he's probably overprotective. And possessive, most likely. Nessie turned grim. Let me in and I'll tell you. Okay. I let Nessie in and shut the door behind me. She plopped onto the couch and made herself comfortable. Wait a minute. What's that on your head? Oh, you noticed? This is my Halloween costume. That is a Halloween costume? Yep. What do you think? Can we say? Okay, we can't say between choices. Okay. I feel like this is more in tune with his character, but making ears that good generally does take a lot of time. I'm sure that took ages to make. No, it didn't. That's the best part. I just had to... You're making fun of me, aren't you? Definitely not. Nessie grabbed the pillow from the couch and threw it at my head. Hey! Just for that, you're coming with me to that party. Huh? You're kidding, right? Why do you think that? I mean, you usually go with Daniel to all that stuff anyway. Vanessa's face fell. Speaking of which, did something happen? He sucked in a sharp breath. Oh boy, did they break up? Did they break up? Did they break up because of him? Yeah, about that. We broke up. Uh-huh. I couldn't contain my surprise. Although she complained about him a lot, I didn't think they'll actually break up. Yeah, we were just drifting apart and it sort of just happened. Which is why I'm gonna go have some fun at this party and forget all about stupid face. I knew that she was putting on a brave face, but it wasn't going to stop her. Alright, cool. Have fun, Nessie. I'm gonna go to bed, alright? I got up to leave, but Nessie put a hand on my arm and stopped me. What? But it's like 9:15. Are you seriously going to sleep now? Yeah, sorry, but I'm beat. Seriously? Are you an old man or what? Ah. Nessie wasn't the type of person to let an opportunity to make fun of me pass her by, so I switched tactics. If you don't get going now, you'll probably miss out on all the good stuff. I mean, he's not wrong. He's definitely not wrong about that. About that. Yeah. I was wondering. Oh, what is she wondering? Nessie looked strangely nervous. Her eyes darted from side to side. If you would, go to the party with me. I looked at her blankly. Did he just process it? Wait, you were being serious? I thought you were just messing with me. Nessie threw her hands up in the air in frustration. Yes, I was serious. Are you coming or what? I love you, Nessie, but I really don't see you in that kind of way. She laughed. No, no, not as a date. I just want a little company. Going into a party alone is a little... Oh, well, in that case... What's this? I mean... Sure. He just broke up with someone. He probably feels lonely. Sure, I'll go. I knew you would say no, which is what? What? Am I hearing things? I'm right here. I just wasn't expecting it to be that easy. I know. For a moment, Max and Ink's words flashed in my mind. Maybe it's time to try something different. I just felt like doing something different. Nessie's intense scrutiny was quite unnerving. Clearly, there's something else going on. I gulped. But I'm not gonna waste this chance. So, let's get going then. I don't need to be wearing a costume. This is fine. It is? Yep. We can just say you're dressing up as a gamer guy. I put my face in my palms. Please don't call me that ever again. Why not? It's true. Fine. Let's just get going. I grabbed my keys and wallet, but realized that I'm in a crowded party. They just get knocked over and lost. Nessie, can you hold on to these while we're out? I don't want these falling out of my pocket. Sure. Hurry up. Okay. With a sigh, I followed her out the door. Nessie locked it, and we made our way to the party. Oh boy. My palms felt sweaty. People in flashy costumes were everywhere, laughing and talking. Not that I could hear them over the music that was blaring from God knows where. I was starting to regret it. Yep. Come on. There we go. I brush a hand over my head. Do I look okay? Felix, this is like the 5th time you've asked this question. But I need to know. Nessie shook her head. You look like a dork. But that's fine. That's the point. If anyone asks, tell them you're dressing up as a nerd. That sure helped my self-confidence. Nessie took my hand and squeezed it. Don't worry about it, big guy. It'll be fine. If you say so. I took a deep breath and followed Vanessa into the house. I felt my palms shake. So many people. Nessie was swarmed by a horde of people who all seemed excited to see her. Hey guys, this is my bestie, Felix. They turned to look at me for a second and gave me a polite nod in acknowledgement. They quickly went back to chattering about something I didn't understand. Ignoring Nessie's protests, I made my way to the kitchen and looked at my options. He said the party was supposed to be fancy, but I got no sense of it so far. I picked up a red cup and looked around. There were a bunch of different bottles strewn around the kitchen. Some were on the counter, one was in a shoe. What should I try? Don't know. Why would I try the bottle and the shoe? How about just getting something from the counter? Even though the party didn't look special, there probably was some good stuff if I looked hard enough. After rummaging around, I finally found a fancy looking bottle of wine. The label was written in a language I couldn't understand, which meant it had to be good, right? I mean, surely. I poured myself a cup and brought it to my lips. What the? I dropped the cup in surprise. My feet were soaked, but wasn't my concern at the moment. Holy shit, look at that guy. My curiosity got the best of me, so I moved into the living room to see what was happening. Whoa. A guy in the most realistic Halloween costume I've ever seen stood in the doorway. He looked like a real demon. Even his hands were glowing. I was actually pretty impressed. Whoa. Well, why was everyone screaming? He lifted his hand in the air. Oh. Guess he's an actual demon. What is he saying? A man flew across the room and crashed into a wall. Okay. Oh, that's why they were screaming. For a moment, I stood transfixed. But when the strange man started moving, instinct took over. I scanned the room for a hiding spot. It was hard to see over the crowd of restless, half-naked folk. But I found a small closet, tucked away. I quickly opened the closet door and crammed myself in. Thought I finally left this back in college. Although the closet was shut tight, there were thin shutters that were too small to reach through, but big enough to see through. The stranger stopped right in front of my hiding spot. My heart stopped. What if he noticed me? I panicked and tried to look around the tiny closet for something I could use to defend myself. Anything. Just anything. Oh boy, I feel like a choice is coming up here. Was that the cops? I held restrained sigh of relief. Maybe this would be over quicker than I thought. Again? Startled, I knocked over something before I could react. My foot caught on it and I tripped forward. Oh shh. My entire body fell on the flimsy bifold doors. They gave way. The world went black. What are you doing here? I felt dizzy and nauseous to say the least. Where was I, anyway? My eyelids felt heavy. It felt like they were stuck together with superglue. I should have just stayed home. With great effort, I finally opened my eyes. What? Where am I? As my vision adjusted, I could make out a figure. I had to squint my eyes to see who it was. Who are you? His voice alone was enough to give me a mini heart attack. I suppose I should actually give him a voice instead of just reading him. The strange guy from earlier looked at me in shock. What do you think you're doing here? I took a second to observe my surroundings. The sky was tinged a dark red, the trees were shaded a dark purple, and there was a large castle in front of me. Was I in some sort of dream? I looked up from my position on the floor. The hot guy was wearing a really skin-tight outfit. He looked down at me disdainfully. I didn't know I had those sort of tendencies, but... Oh, right, I pinched myself to see it was a dream, but apart from the slight pain, nothing happened. No way. I really have no idea. I was just at the party and then I was here. The man looked at me suspiciously, but now he was starting to seem a lot more familiar. Oh yeah, you're the guy in the demon cosplay at the party. The demon cosplayer looked disgusted. Oh boy, you offended him. I am a demon, not a cheap imitation of one. Oh, you know what cosplay is? It felt so surreal discussing anime terms with a man who, for all intents and purposes, was a actual fucking demon. Not intentionally. There seemed to be a story there, but I wasn't going to push. You must have been that fool who interrupted my return spell. Oh, well, oops. He lifted his hand so that it pinched the bridge of his nose. His exasperation was so palpable, I could feel it rubbing on my own skin. You're not gonna, like, kill me, are you? He looked at me for a second as if considering the idea. Hey, it wasn't my fault. I stumbled down here. Was it? You can't kill me. I mean... Let's see, can I at least check the place out first? Or I have so much left to do back home. Would he let us check the place out? Let's see. Home never really felt that way to me. I've always felt out of place, but now that I was in a new, strange world, I had to see what it was about. That demon looked at me strangely. You're not afraid of me? I blinked. In my mind, I knew he was some kind of demonic entity who could kill me by snapping his fingers. Or something. I didn't actually know how demons worked. But maybe it was my fuzzy mind or the atmosphere of being in a completely different realm. I felt bolder. I'll be lying if I said I wasn't. I see. He was quiet for a few moments, My butt. Why are you mentioning your butt in this situation? My butt felt numb from being on the floor, although it strangely wasn't cold. Can I, sit somewhere better? Very well, strange human. Follow me inside. I walked into the mansion with the demon guy. Whoa, this place is huge. I wonder what this demon guy does for a living. I realized I was still calling him demon guy and not by his name. What's your name? A mere mortal does not require that information. Maybe, but calling you demon guy may not be the best. He glared at me. Do not call me that unless you wish to become the dust under my feet. I don't. He looked at me skeptically. You do not sound sure. I definitely don't. Demon guy looked so done. I didn't blame him. Very well. You may call me... I don't think he's gonna understand that considering it's still crossed out. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. That may be so, mere mortal. Tongues are not meant to speak it. In that case, refer to me as Tristar, henceforth. Okay. It was very short either, but I wasn't about to complain. It was better than before. I mean, I guess you could probably try to abbreviate that name, but he might not like that very much. After a walk that was far too long, we finally reached the interior of the mansion. It has been a while since I've interacted with mortals, but I do not recall them having far superior athleticism. Yeah, about that... I was too embarrassed to admit I'd never really exercised, and I don't think walking to the kitchen for a fresh bag of nachos was exercise. It's different for me. It doesn't concern me. Really? I mean, he's a demon. He's probably not really interested about it. He walked down the hallway and opened the door. This is where you will stay. Do not leave this room under any circumstances. A million questions and statements flew into my head, but the door slammed shut. I looked around the barren room. It was dark and gloomy, with barely anything in it. Then my stomach grumbled. It sure did, buddy. It sure did. I hadn't eaten a single thing during the party. I was so hungry. I was in a demon realm. There'll probably be food, right? I looked around. I wasn't gonna risk getting killed by leaving, or perhaps meeting up with a less altruistic demon. But I felt a lot of strange feelings and wasn't sure how to process it. Yeah, we're just gonna... Want to go back to old light. Feel strangely excited. Based on how you were checking up the demon. Maybe this new realm was strange and scary, sure. But it was different. A breath of fresh air. Literally. Pretty ironic that hell had better air than Los Angeles. I really wanted to see what was out there. Too bad I was stuck inside a tiny room. I didn't want to spend all day just staring at a wall. Did hell even have a date-night cycle? Was it 24 hours? How does time work here? As I was pondering those questions, a small black cat walked up to me, balancing oranges on its head. Aww. I was always a cat person, so I couldn't help opening my arms to welcome it. But it just stared at me coldly. Well, you sure have an attitude, huh? Despite that, I couldn't help find it adorable. That cat got closer and dumped 3 oranges in my lap. Aw, you're a sweetheart. I opened my arms to welcome it, but it just stared at me in disgust. Although I liked to have played with it, the oranges caught my attention. I was far too hungry to ignore it. I greedily started peeling the oranges and munching them down. Oh, these are great. After I finished the third orange, in a matter of minutes, I felt someone still. I looked for the cat to thank it, but it was gone. Oh no. I got off the bed and looked for it, but it wasn't just hiding in the room, it definitely left. Strangely, I didn't hear it. I held the bundle of peels in my hand, but I didn't know what to do with it. Doesn't look like there's a trash can here. A strange vision popped in my head of... oh boy. TriStar smiting me for leaving food waste on his floor. I mean, I guess. Such a scenario was unlikely, but I felt rattled. Besides, he couldn't expect me to stay inside forever, could he? I mean, he probably could. I cracked open the door slightly. No one was in sight. Okay, Felix, you can do this. I opened the door fully and stepped out into the hallway. Still there was no one. After walking for a bit, all I saw was an endless number of doors. No sign of a kitchen or trash can. Oh no. I was lost. Where am I? I turned around to go back, but then I heard a familiar voice. I am telling you, I have not had any contact with him. Out of instinct, I ducked next to the door, peeked into the room. I started standing at the back of his office, holding up a crystal to his palm. I heard a small voice coming out from the crystal, but it was too far away for me to hear. Father, I speak the truth. Kelly has not responded to my calls. I fear she has taken refuge among the humans. I heard shrieking from the crystal and flinched. Luckily, it seems Trista didn't hear me. I understand your concern. I'm not reading in his voice. Pardon me. I understand your concern. I took steps to locate her, but there was an unfortunate incident. As a result, the search was delayed. I see. Very well. I will not fail. He placed the crystal down onto the windowsill and turned around. He walked towards the door and I froze. I was just, I pointed to the orange peels in my hands. Looking for a place to dump this, I swear. Tristan narrowed his eyes. He pointed a long black nail to the orange peels and they vanished. What? Where did they go? Tristan sighed. Now, be truthful. What did you hear? Are you gonna murder me if I heard anything? Actually, well, I gotta say, I did hear what happened. And you are curious, I presume? Yeah. Who were you talking to? And about who? Am I about to be smited here? Am I gonna be smited? Raystar raised a palm. Silence. I will continue. Callie is my sister. I was supposed to find her before you got in my way. It wasn't on purpose. She chooses to live among humans for some godforsaken reason. I mean, if you're demons, doesn't that technically make you already... Do not complete that sentence. Fine. It must be hard, though, to lose a family member. I didn't have any siblings, but I knew that family was close. Even though I knew it was inevitable, I was miserable when my mother passed away. I do not know what to speak of. Callie must be present to ascend the throne, as father is going to pass. Oh, but I mean, like, don't you miss her? Krister just blinked. Never mind, but why weren't you looking for her at a Halloween party? I received intelligence that several demon-like entities gathered in swabs during those events, and that specific locations were in fact one of the largest. Instead I ended up with you. Hey, I'll let you know that I'm a catch. Crap, that was not the right thing to say. Then I remembered an important question. Oh. Doesn't matter because I was going to save over it. Let's see, can I go home now or I want to go outside? One's yelling, one's a question. He's frustrated right now anyway, so. Can I at least go outside? This place seems really interesting. You can't just expect me to stay cooped up the entire time. Oh. Nope. That made him angry. Oh boy. Oh no, he's angry. Okay. You fool. If not for you messing up this spell, I would not keep you here for another second. Because of this, I cannot perform the transmutation rite for another 3 months. I messed it up? Yes. Oh, too bad. So, while I'm here, can I go outside? No. I opened my mouth to retort, but was cut off by a stomach grumbling. Oh wow, that's embarrassing. That's mildly embarrassing. What? About food? You got to have more than oranges, right? Do not worry about that. I shall ask Demetrius to procure some imp meat. What? I'm not gonna eat imp meat? Humans are so fussy. I have a name, you know, it's Felix. Irrelevant. I suppose I can ask Demetrius for more oranges. I didn't know who Demetrius was, but he was clearly out of his mind if he thought I could live on oranges. I mean, it's a possibility. Good. Humans need a balanced diet. Tristar pinched the bridge of his nose. Fine. Have it your way. He glanced into his office. We can discuss this in the morning. Take a rest. I must attend to my business. I suppose hell does have a day and night cycle after all. Do you have enough food for breakfast then? I suppose not. I can't be eating imp meat, that's just no. You are such a... Very well. We shall leave for the market now. Like right now? Yes. I was about to visit to obtain some clues about Callie's whereabouts. You may get some food there as well. Okay. So that's his true motive. Very well. Well then, should I disguise myself or something? Tristar looked confused. Why? Because I don't have wings and horns or My eyes trailed down to his outfits. Interesting costume. Star sputtered. Human, first realize this is not a costume. It is sacred attire. Most demons do not have horns and wings. That is only a privilege shared among us in high ranks. Oh, okay. I will need to disguise myself, not you. Cool, so are you gonna do it? Yes. Aren't you supposed to be in disguise? I am in disguise. I don't notice anything different. Of course you don't. This disguise is not meant for human eyes. Okay. Oh, but why wouldn't it work on humans? Because humans and demons are not only different species, they're also from different realms. I guess that makes sense. Of course. It's far more difficult to cast a spell that disguises a demon from its own kind. It takes a truly powerful demon such as I to cast one like that. Oh. What would be harder? Is a spell that makes you tolerable. Oh, okay, we're getting bold here. Is he gonna slice off my neck for that comment? Excuse me? Nothing. Triss looked skeptical but stayed quiet. Yeah, I think I'll use the abbreviation from there because his name is a bit difficult. Oh boy, okay. So your plan is to run up to them, drop your disguise to shock them, and then threaten them for info. Yes. I put my face in my palms. That's an awful plan. I doubt you have a better one. I do. We have to move stealthily, just watch. Specialty oranges, half off. The woman looked like she was about 60 years old. Her facial features were kind and gentle. What was she doing in the demon realm? Grown using only tears of tortured souls. Appearances can be deceiving. I walked down the street with Try by my side. The other demon looked just like regular humans. Surprisingly, no one seemed to notice him. His disguise was the real thing. After walking for a little while, the crowd of people began to feel suffocating. I tried to calm down. I just needed to finish this and then I'll be able to go home. I could just play Legends of Odin and forget this all happened. I grabbed onto my shirt and rubbed it between my index fingers and thumbs. I took deep breaths. Come on, Felix, you can do this. I walked up to the woman from before. Hello. She glared at me. Clearly she hadn't heard of a business smile. I did my best to stay steady. What? I was, crap, I should have thought this through. I needed to say something that would get me answers without seeming suspicious. I wanted to know if you saw something like, if you're not gonna buy anything, leave. I flinched. Well, be on our way. Are you kidding? You said... Fine, we'll leave. We walked away from the stall. I made the mistake of looking back and saw the granny with a terrifying expression. I sighed. The suffocating feeling wasn't gone, but I felt better now. What the earth was that? Sorry, You have no qualms talking boldly with me, yet you cannot approach a low-ranked merchant? My heart started racing. No, not now. I expect an answer. Keep it together. Breathe. Count from 1 to 10. You. I looked up and saw Try, a face inches from mine. My heart beat faster, but for a different reason from earlier. You idiot. And the moment was gone. You said we must move discreetly, yet you faint in the middle of the market. I can't control that. At the very least, you are speaking in full sentences now. I gulped audibly. Did I say something weird? No, you simply spoke nonsense, and were mumbling phrases such as, please, gotcha, lords. Oh my god, okay. Please, gotcha, lords, and right up is a lie. Oh. My face burned with embarrassment. I need to change the topic. I looked around. Is this still the market? Yes, simply a secluded part away from the rest. That sounded ominous, but there was nothing I can do. I just rested my eyes, enjoying my position. What do you think you're doing? I didn't bother answering. I just mumbled a content sigh. Being transported to literal hell was awful and tiring. There was no way I could get up from the nice pillow underneath me. I believe I asked a question, human. I have a name, you know. Once again, that is irrelevant. I let out another content sigh and snuggled closer to Try. Didn't seem very thrilled with the moment, but he didn't push me away either. You are a strange one. You're the one with wings and horns. Try continued, ignoring my comment. No one has dared to speak so casually with me. I thought for a second before replying. Does it bother you? He shook his head. It is strange. I cannot say I like the feeling. But you don't dislike it either. Ah, they're both blushing now. I felt a smile stretch across my face. What are you smiling like a loon for? Nothing. You. It felt like he was going to say something else, but stopped. What is it? You are very different from what I initially perceived. Really? What did you think I was at first? A coward. Hey, that's not very nice. You still are. Then he smiled, as in the corners of his lips turned upwards and his eyes softened. And it was the cutest fucking thing. What are you looking at? And it was gone. Right, food. That was why we were here. We should get going. That was what I was attempting to do this entire time. Oh, well, we should finish it now. Do not attempt to boss me around. Despite saying that, he stood up and dusted his lap. I felt oddly offended, but didn't say anything more. We walked back into the market. This time, I felt much calmer. My palms weren't shaking anymore, and my vision was clear. You can do this, Felix. Try looked at me oddly, but didn't say anything. We walked up to vendor after vendor, but most ranged from disinterested to aggressive. Along the way, I bought a couple of apples, munched on them, and also got some vegetables for later. There was no meat that humans ate, and I wasn't about to try something new now. Thanks so much for getting me all this. Try. Try. Huh? My name is TriStar, you ignorant fool. I shrunk back in fear. Sorry, TriStar. I mean, we were having such a decent time, I forgot he was technically a demon who could kill me at any moment. We walked in silence among the vendors as I finished up my apple. Suddenly, I saw something shine in a corner. What's that? I pointed to it. What are you referring to? Do you mind if I check it out? I nervously looked at him. Okay. I walked towards the shiny object and picked it up. It looks like a button of sorts. Try leaned his head closer towards it. It does not seem familiar in any way. Could this be a clue? It kind of felt like I was in the detective game. Badass. First star. It is likely just trash. If not, it belongs to another demon and was carelessly left behind. Well, I rolled the button in my hands and pretended to be inspecting it. Looked normal. Ah. Oh. Try rolled his eyes. Are you finished? Yeah, I continued looking at the button. When I pressed the center of it, I noticed something strange. This is hollow. He looked intrigued. That is most certainly strange. We only use real precious metals in hell. Well, that means this is either from Earth or this is something else. I stared at me. What? You are more perceptive than I originally thought. I suppose if we want to appease him. That does not appease him. That just makes him glare at us. Okay. I glared at me. Glad to see you're having fun. I didn't mean it like that. But it was true. Even if this wasn't an ideal situation for once, I felt like I was doing something meaningful, despite it being so out of my comfort zone. We continued the rest of our trip in silence. Since Tri said he couldn't stand the sound of my grumbling stomach, we trudged straight for the dining room. After another long, grueling walk, we finally ended up in a dining room. Oh, it's you again. Demetrius, prepare the meal. Wait, that's Demetrius? Yes. I watched in awe as the cat cooked. It was surprisingly mesmerizing. So, yeah? About where you're from. I did my best to concentrate on the conversation, but it was difficult with the smell of freshly baked ziti wafting through the door. Never mind. Demetrius showed up from the kitchen with a tray of delicious food floating above his head. Wow, you got powers too. He looked suspiciously at me and set the food at the table. He talks to you, but not to me. I stared importantly at Tri. He looked at me strangely as I started scarfing down the food. Demetrius, this food is great. Prideful cat. The rest of the meal was a blur. Tri asked me some basic questions about life in LA, and I struggled to explain basic human phenomenon. So, humans now travel in little boxes? I waved my arms to try and make a silhouette of a car. Basically, yeah, but they're not literal box shaped. They come in all sorts of shapes. Fascinating. What is yours like? I don't have one. He looked confused. So, how do you travel then? By walking, or by taking the bus. A bus? After a failed explanation of public transportation over a great meal, I felt my eyes droop. I want to sleep. Troy clicked his tongue. Very well. It is late. After Troy's insistence, I leave the plates as is. Apparently, I couldn't be trusted with cutlery. I got up. I walked back to my room. It felt strange, but I suppose I should get used to it considering it would be my living space for the next 3 months. I collapsed onto the bed, exhausted. Maybe this was all a strange dream, and when I open my eyes tomorrow, I'll be back. I felt a strange soft feeling on my eyelids. 5 more minutes. Wake up. Don't wanna. I felt a pulse smack my cheek. Ow. I'm awake. I'm awake. You sure are aggressive. I groggily sat up in bed. I felt a throbbing in the back of my head, the worst kind of headache. Too bad I can't just take a Tylenol. It is time for breakfast. I tiredly threw the covers over me and got up. After a long walk, we made it to the dining room. My stomach was already gurgling. You have finally made it, mortal. Yes, I have, and you can drop the mortal. My name is Felix. We sat down again, and I just stared at my empty plate. What would you like for a drink this morning? I looked around. You're talking to me? Yes, I am. Well, it was strange to have someone waiting on me for breakfast. I usually didn't eat anything. Just ran quickly to work. I'll have... Let's just see... Coffee? Interesting choice. Oh, what's interesting about it? It reveals how uninteresting you are. I couldn't believe I was bantering with a talking cat, but that's just how it turned out. The most common thing is orange juice, though. Troy just was sitting in his seat, leisurely sipping from a cup. What are you drinking? The tears of sinners. Ah, okay then. I kept quiet as my drink arrived. This tastes good. I know, I made it after all. That attitude. Despite the rocky start today, I felt excited to continue the investigation. I giddily drank the coffee and placed it down. You are surprisingly enthusiastic this morning. I'm not normally, but I guess something's different today. After a period of comfortable silence, Demetrius showed up with a sizzling potato dish. This smells wonderful. I know. Oh my god, this is such a smug cat. As I was scarfing it down, Tri looked at me with a strange expression. If you have something to say, just say it. It is... simply... Yeah? You are free to use the library today to research the demon realm. If there are any methods for you to return earlier than usual. Really? I try not to let my face drop. Although I'd love to do more research on what this place was, I didn't want to go back home just yet. Yes, I imagine you have little else to do here anyway. It's been a while since I read a physical book, but I found it interesting to learn the lore of the demon realm. Or history would have been the correct term. After a great meal, I found myself down in the library. I stretched my arms out and rolled up my non-existent sleeves. Let's get to work. I didn't know how the shelves were organized, so I just started at random locations. Most of the letters were written in some sort of strange language. This is pretty useless. As I was thinking that, the letters in the book rearranged themselves into English alphabet. Wow. It was pretty interesting to see all the different books on the shelves. Some were about various rituals, while others seemed to be more about past demon rulers. What's this? I noticed the section slightly separated from the rest. It seemed hidden away. Are these some sort of forbidden texts? I pulled the book from the shelf and held it in my hand. I felt a surge of power emanating from it. This has got to be important. The book began to glow in my hands as the text rearranged itself. The title read, 50 Shades of Human. Oh my god, they have a 50 Shades of Grey book in here. The cover had a half-naked dude rudely staring into the distance. I flipped the book over and read the description. Nick was just your average working class demon. One day the handsome mortal oh my god, are you kidding me? Christian comes along and sweeps her off her feet. What is this? Confused, I began to pull a bunch of other books from the shelves and I began to read their descriptions as well. All of them had strange tales such as 7 Days of a Mortal and Salacious Human Affair. This is so strange. When my curiosity got the better of me, I spent the day reading 50 Shades of Human. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? By the end of the day, my eyes felt tired and blurry. Yeah, you're reading an entire book the entire day. No, Christian, how could you do this to Anna? Oh my god. I trudged back to the office to report my non-existent progress. What did you get done to? Try stopped when he saw my face. He rushed over to my side and placed his hand on my face. What happened down there? Human-demon love affairs are really difficult, huh? Oh god. What? He immediately pulled his hand away. You do not mean... no, just I finished reading the books about it. Oh, so you were not conducting research? This was research of demon culture and stuff. Try looked suspicious, but said nothing. If you say so. The next few weeks went by pretty uneventfully. I rarely saw Try for the most part. He was never there during dinner or breakfast. I was usually me, just eating by myself, and then holding myself up in the library for research. Still, I felt us getting closer, although he wasn't the most talkative. The comfortable silence felt nice. It was nice to be acknowledged. One day, Try called me to his office for a progress check. So, human, do you have any visible progress? I felt the hairs on my hand rise, but I tried to keep it down. It bugged me when he referred to me as human. But maybe things could change. Can you, call me Felix? Try looked at me strangely. Is there any reason? Yeah, like, I call you TriStar. I don't just call you Big Strange Demon. Try frowned. That is because there is a difference between us. I did my best to keep my face still. Maybe, but you can use my name once in a while. Try tapped his foot in impatience. I asked for your progress. Why is he so... I've been going through the library, but there's so much stuff, it's hard to read it all. Besides, I need to wait for the text to rearrange, which makes it quite a bit. He pinched the bridge of his nose in exasperation. I felt frustration crawl through my veins. So troublesome. Is that all? What? Is that all you had to say? Triad looked at me strangely. I don't think you understand, human, but... I banged my fist on the table. Human this, mortal that, you know all this while you haven't used my name once. What are you? You got so fucking angry when I shortened your name, yet you can't be bothered to remember mine. How dare you? Felix, that's my name. It's spelled Felix. If you need the alphabet for it. Do you realize how you're speaking to me? Yes, I do. What are you going to do, huh? Kill me? Then hurry up and do it. I felt anger unlike any other boiling in my veins. I've never felt this agitated in my life. I didn't. Now the anger was mixed with frustration. I just wanted to be seen as an equal, but clearly I wasn't. It's just... I felt tears pull up in my eyes. I'm going to go. I ran out of the office feeling miserable. I power walked back to my quarters. I entered the room, my vision blurry with tears. I took the glasses off my face and rubbed them on the edge of my shirt to clean them. I sat down at the edge of the bed. Funny that I got so used to it here. Was calling it my bed. It wasn't mine. Nothing here was. I was just an outsider. I tried to think of why I was feeling so upset. Just stay there. Yes, I am human, but I have thoughts, feelings, wishes of my own. Not all humans are the same. If they were, the world would be so much more dull. But I couldn't help but wonder, was there a reason he acted that way? Still, I felt exhaustion overtake me and my eyes fluttered close. My eyes felt sore, apparently crying oneself to sleep left your eyes feeling raw. I hadn't cried this much since I was a child. I sat up and rubbed my eyes. I quickly put on my glasses when I heard the door open. Demetrius? To my surprise, Tri stood in the doorway. What do you want? Tri flinched but still stood outside. I sighed. Come inside. Meekly he walked inside. I was surprised to see him so obedient. I wish to say something. Yes. I'm not used to interacting with others. No kidding. I felt that my behavior was unbecoming. I should not have. I believe I was... I laughed. This is not a laughing matter. I guess. He took a deep breath. I wanted to say that my behavior was unbecoming. Being in such a position, I do not interact much. I did not realize that you felt that way. It's a little bit on me too. I should have listened to you instead of running away. We stared at each other in silence. So, Felix. Yeah? About the button. Try sheepishly produced a broken piece of plastic to me. That's... yes. In my anger, I may have harmed it. Harmed? Was an understatement. It looked like it was crushed into smithereens. Was there anything inside? No. I sighed. So, that's a dead end then. Yes. I knew this wasn't a movie where something I found turned out to be important. I felt disappointed. I thought this would be a chance for me to learn something new, but this was it. My stomach grumbled loudly. Always at the worst time. Perhaps we can discuss the rest over breakfast. Did he just smile? What? Nothing. Let's eat. Around a month passed. Days in hell felt surprisingly similar to days on Earth. Try and I spent the time sitting down and researching the button. After figuring out that there was nothing left on the button itself, we began to research cross-dimensional communication. However, there was one key difference. We did it together. We sat next to each other at the table, a stack of books next to us. While I struggled reading the complicated mumbo-jumbo, Tri was reading through them in blazing fast race. Suddenly, I heard a loud thud. Huh? Tri's face was flat on the desk. I lightly tapped his shoulder, but no response. Gosh, those diamond things on his arms were sharp. Carefully, I tried to avoid his horns and touch his hair. Not in like a creepy way or anything, I was just curious how it felt. It was surprisingly soft. What do you think you're doing? I froze up. Nothing. Tri raised his head from the desk and rubbed his eyes, then yawned. That did not seem like nothing. I was just surprised how soft your hair is. Is that so? Tri reached for his head, touching the same place I did. Then he reached up to my hair and touched it. I flushed. It does not feel different to me. Oh? I scrambled for a subject change. So, you get sleepy too? Of course. Sleep is necessary for any mortal vessel. I thought you're not mortal. I may not be mortal, but this vessel is. Demonic identity lies in the soul, not the body. Huh, interesting. So you die too? Yes, but the soul is carried over to a new body. Oh, I would have never imagined. Suddenly my mind was turning with questions about the technicalities of being a demon. As if he could read my mind, Tri raised his hands. No more questions. How did you know? I just had to take one look at your face. I shyly scratched at the back of my neck. I didn't realize I was that easy to read. Then Tri leaned back into my chest. Pardon? Wait, what? Huh? Quiet. My head rested snugly in between those two perfectly, terrifyingly sharp horns. What are you... I said, quiet. Do you not understand that much? It's just... I felt myself heat up. I am drained. Let me rest. Tentatively, I wrapped my arms around Tri's chest. When he pressed himself closer, a strange feeling bubbled up my chest. I wanted... Yeah, we're just gonna save. You two are repressed. So repressed. Can you two communicate, please? Knowing you. Knowing you. I like this. I like the comfortable silence between us. I enjoyed looking at Tri's reaction to things and how he taught me new things every day. I wanted to stay like this forever. Snap out of it, Felix. This was only temporary. I needed to remind myself. but a small voice in my head whispered, "Did it need to be?" I almost shook my head before realizing I physically couldn't. As Triad's chest rose and fell in even breaths, I thought to myself, what's going to happen to me? Another month passed by, surprisingly uneventfully. We continued the research, but couldn't find the source of the transmission. Today's scenery, however, was a little different. So I guess we're back here again. Yes. We walked through the crowd of shoppers today. It was even more crowded than our first trip. I have never found it necessary to do the mundane task of shopping. I always left this to Demetrius. I know, but I really like to check up on the food myself. Plus, I was stuck inside for too long. Nessie would be proud. Tri looked at me strangely, but didn't say anything more. I mean, if you really didn't want to, I would have been fine with Demi. Tri pouted, like actually pouted. You do not wish to go with me? Oh my gosh, she's so cute. After realizing I didn't say anything, I quickly fumbled for a response. No, of course not. Very well. Tri did his best to hide it, but there was a small smile on his face. We slowly made our way through the market. We looked at a couple of stands, but nothing caught my eye. Tri seemed pretty out of it. I glanced at him from time to time, but I decided to just leave him be. Demi? What? You refer to Demetrius as Demi? Yeah, I do. Since he's fine with it, I don't see the issue. Treasure shook his head. Wait a minute. As we stopped by a cart full of apples, I hesitantly opened my mouth. Can I call you Tris? Oh my god, he does not look like he likes that, I think. Mister's eyes went wide as saucers. I'm sorry, I didn't mean... I pulled back, trying to think of how to rectify the situation. If you really want to, you can. I looked at him shocked. You really mean it? Did you not hear me the first time? Giddy with excitement, I grabbed Tris' hand. He stared down at our linked hands, but didn't protest. Taking his silent affirmation, I happily walked through the market with him. What about the apples? Alright. Sheepishly, I turned around and walked back to the cart of apples. I inspected them closely, never letting go of his hand. You're a strange one. Did you say something? No. I went back to look at the apples. After some time, it started to get dark. I was always dark, just more so. I carried a large bag of miscellaneous foodstuffs. If I had known you were buying so much, I would have brought a cart. It's fine. They had a surprisingly number of nice food. I wasn't sure why exactly demons needed so much human food, but I tried not to think about it. That's why I blurted out. We should do this more often. We should do this more often. Crowded places are generally insufferable. I know, but isn't this kind of fun? He looked down. I would say it was not bad. If you say so. You will not be here for much longer, however. I tried not to think about that. Yeah, but that's why we should get the most out of it. Very well. We can do that, so. That's great. I hummed the rest of the way back to the mansion. If Tris had any objections, he didn't state them. I felt a shiver run down my spine. Is there a reason why we gotta be in this creepy place? Yes. Okay. I looked around awkwardly. So, what's your drawing? Tris looked at me like I'm stupid. My summoning circle. We need to go back. If it's yours, then how am I going to get back? Considering how measly your human soul is, I doubt it will even matter. But last time I delayed us by 3 whole months. Yes, but this time I would use a little more magic. It will not require a second ritual. I see. Hopefully. Very reassuring. I just looked around the room awkwardly, not sure what to do. This place was creeping me out. Is it done yet? Try groaned in frustration. Find something to occupy yourself with. I must get every detail right. Well, judging by its look, there wasn't much I can occupy myself with that wouldn't also kill me. So I settled for just watching Tris make the circle. He drew elaborate lines on the floor in chalk. At least, I think it was chalk. I shuddered when I thought of what it could be made of. It is complete. Yeah, okay, so what do I do? Stand there. Troy lifted his hands in the air. Oh. Okay. I stood and watched. Suddenly, the elaborate circle on the ground began to disappear. What? It appeared piece by piece in front of us. Whoa. I coughed loudly and my lungs felt like they've been squeezed hard. We stood in the corner of an empty street. I grabbed my head. So where are we? I would not know. A pang of fear struck me. What if we were transferred to Australia or something? I'll never get back home. I don't know either. Try held my hand in a tight grip. Do not panic. Let us see. Wait. If Tris went out into the street looking like this, we'll get found out immediately. No. Tris dragged me out of the corner. I braced myself for a bunch of strange looks at us. Instead, no one seemed to notice. How does no one notice you? Because I am in disguise. You are? Yes. I looked him up and down. You don't see any different to me. I do not? Yeah, you still got your horns and stuff. Perhaps it is because you spent so long with me. You still see it. I felt a sense of pride swell up in my chest. Oh, sounds special. Do not get cocky. Do you not recognize where we are? I looked around. Oh, this is the street right by my apartment. Very well. I sighed in relief. I would have been such a mess if we ended up in a different country. So, where do you go from here? I looked at Tris nervously. To your quarters, of course. Huh? I had the decency to let you live in mine for 3 months. Can you not host me for a few days? He had a point. One thing though. My place isn't, as loaded as yours. I assumed as much. I sheepishly scratched the back of my neck. Okay, just making sure you knew. But I realized something a little too late. Wait a minute. What? I don't have my keys with me. I rummaged through my pockets but couldn't find anything. Oh no. Are you serious? Well, yeah, of course I don't even... If I had them before, they wouldn't almost definitely fallen out of my pocket while I was in literal hell. So, what now? I felt my brain spin. Was I about to get another panic attack? Tris grabbed my hand. Breathe in. It is alright, just breathe. After a couple of moments, I felt myself relax. We stood there in silence until I felt my thoughts return. Wait a minute. That's right. I said in relief. I left them at my friend's, Nessie's place. Oh. Yeah, but it's a pretty long walk from here. Tris? Tris. Are you there? Wait, is he shocked that we have a friend? Tris blinked in shock. Yes, I am. I did not hear what you said. I thought it was pretty clear. We need to start walking to Nessie's place now. I'm not sure what time it is, but we should get there before it's too late. Oh, very well then. We began to walk to Nessie's place. I've been there so many times. I knew it by the back of my hand, but I really wish I had my phone so I could get an Uber. Tris was uncomfortably silent. Is everything okay? Yes, however, I was just curious. Yeah? Does Nessie happen to be your lady friend? I choked. Was the question so unpleasant? No, I was just... The term lady friend caught me so off guard, I wasn't sure how to respond. Then... no. No, she's not. She's just a friend. Besides, I'm gay. I gulped. Gay? Yeah, I'm attracted to men, not women. Oh, I see. We walked in silence for a bit longer. I felt Tris stare down my neck just as I was about to say something. Are you attracted to me? I choked again. Oh my god. Did he not like notice whenever this guy checked him out or something? Do you have an issue with your lungs? Just looked genuinely concerned, which made me feel a bit guilty. No, it was just so unexpected. So, are you? I looked at him. It would be a lie to say I wasn't, but... Yes, I am. I hastily tried to cover it up. But I wouldn't do anything if you don't want to, and... It is fine, because I am the same. Do you mean you're gay too, or that you're attracted to me too? Yes. That's not... I grabbed his hand and held it. I was too scared to ask more, but I couldn't place my finger on why. Was I perhaps... No, stop it right now. We continued to walk to Nessie's place. Finally. Although it was dark, we finally made it to Nessie's place. We would have been quicker if you let me fly. You can't fly here. You should hide somewhere so that she doesn't see you. Why? Because she'll have a lot of questions. I can handle that. I really didn't want to deal with Nessie's intrusiveness, but I couldn't follow through when I saw how dejected Tris looked. Fine, but when she asks questions, don't say anything that gives you away. I was not planning to. Okay. I tentatively knocked on Nessie's door. Coming! The door swung open. Felix, I was so scared. You've been gone for like 2 days, and I was beginning to... You. Oh, brother, what are you doing here? Huh? You... What are you thinking, just disappearing like that? It's none of your business. What's going on here? I don't want to take over hell, okay? I just want to live a normal life. You would dare leave our home to live like a lowly mortal? I felt a sting. Felix, I didn't mean... Nessie's eyes darted between us two. Don't tell me. Nessie rubbed a hand over her face. Brother, I'm not returning to hell no matter what you say. But I have everything I want here. I've got a best friend who understands me. And I can live normally without having to deal with unrealistic expectations placed on me by father, whoever. What if I say you don't have a choice? I do. There's always is. Try looked pained. If you won't come peacefully, I suppose there's no other choice. Nessie tightened her hands into a fist. You already know who will win this fight. I do, but it's my duty to attempt it anyway. Try and Nessie squared off. I froze in my spot. I couldn't just let this happen. But what could I even do? I could barely carry my groceries from their car into my home. How the fuck could I stop this fight? Try gathered a ball of magic into his hand and raised it. But I had to do something. No, stop. I yelled and hugged Triss back. Stop. Stop this now. I felt tears prick the side of my eyes. What are you doing, fool? Stay out of this. No, I can't. Don't fight. You. Try whipped his hand back to throw me off. I closed my eyes and braced for impact. But nothing happened. Huh? You fool. What? Try sighed and lowered his hand. You are a true idiot. You would have most likely died. I would have? Nessie looked puzzled. Since when? She looked at me and then at Triss. Oh. I blushed sheepishly. I see how it is. Sister, do not think this is the end. Yeah, 1 sec. Nessie went inside. Triss stared at me. What? You are a strange creature. You've said that a lot lately. Because it is true every time. Nessie reappeared in the doorway. Here you go. Your keys and wallet. Alright. Among all the commotion, I forgot why I even came here. I called work for you. They were worried, but I told them you were sick. For 3 months? Nessie blinked. It's only been 2 days. Huh? Time flows differently between realms. So, are you guys like done fighting? I stopped myself mentally for saying that. I just had to remind them, right? For now. For now. I sighed. Let's go back home. We left, but not before Triss glared at Nessie. Have a good night! I just don't get her. I should call an Uber. What is that? A ride to get home? Are you referring to one of those moving boxes? Oh, yeah. We are absolutely not getting in one of those. Don't tell me you're scared. Of course not. It's simply uncouth. But my feet hurt. Triss stared blankly at me. I may not be all muscle, man, like you, so I get tired easily. Triss sighed, then he scooped me in his arms. What? Give me the directions. I buried my face in my palms but told him the directions anyway. We finally reached home and I opened the door. Ah! I collapsed onto one of the couches. This place is strange. There are curious devices everywhere. Oh yeah, well, I'm just gonna... I felt my eyes close. Sleep. I opened my eyes. Where am I? I looked around trying to figure out where I was. But the mirror didn't appear. I rubbed my eyes. Why was it so bright? I fumbled around for my glasses and put them on. Oh, that's right. That's right. I was back home. I jumped up from my place on the couch. Where was Triss? He was nowhere to be found unless... I heard some angry noise from my bedroom. Quickly, I hurried in. Triss? Triss was animally talking through a crystal in his hand, but the light in it faded as soon as I walked in. You. Yes? What do you think I should do? You're asking me. Who else is present here? About what? About Kelly, Nessie. Oh, I racked my head trying to think about it. I think you should do what you want. Hmm? Like, I'm really an outsider, aren't I? Saying it out loud made me feel depressed, but it was true. I really don't have a right to say anything here. It's between you and her. And I'm pretty stupid, like, you know that. So I don't think you should be asking. Chris grabbed the back of my shirt and pulled my face close. What are you... Oh then. Well then. Well then. Well then. Well then. Oh, this scene is lasting a while. Oh god. Well then. So from that we learned that Chris can't kiss for shit. I looked at Tris in shocked. What just happened? Do not say that I am a stranger to you again. Oh, sorry. Tris touched his fingers to his lips. Do not apologize. Okay. I stared at him awkwardly. What? What? Why did you do that? He sighed. I disliked hearing you speak the way about yourself. Oh. Is that it? That is not all, perhaps. I have feelings for you. Do not look so surprised, fool. I laughed. Don't be shy. I am not shy. If you say so. I care about you too, Tris. That is good to hear. Oh my god. This one's bold. This one is bold. This one has all the cojones. He is bold. You. First, we must figure out this situation. Oh, okay, right. So, what do you want to do? I held Tris's hand in mine. Hopefully, whatever you want to do includes me. I could be taken in more than one way. He looked up at me. Do you have an idea? Okay, that's completely different. I don't think that's what he meant. Can I stay with you in hell? What? This place never really felt like home to me. It was where I stayed, but I always felt there was something missing. Let me come with you. I can stay with you there. Just look conflicted. I know I'm asking a lot. You are. But I would like to stay with you no matter how difficult it may be. I understand. So, but we both need some time to decide. He handed me a small black button. Why does this look familiar? We have only known each other for a little over 3 months. It's a bit presumptuous to do something extreme. Using this, we are able to communicate through dimensions. How did you... I thought back to our time in Hell. Chris rolled the back of his neck. Since the strange button was a dead end, I decided to repurpose it. Did you make this back then to give me Once we got here? I looked away. So what if I did? I grabbed Tris and hugged him tightly. That's amazing, thank you. He tentatively returned the hug. I must return home by myself to finish my duties. However, unlike my sister, I cannot make rash decisions at the moment's notice. I released the hug. But we can communicate through this device in the meantime. I care for you, but this is too soon. I understand. I grasped the button in my hand. Tribe began to fade away. Already? If I stay now, I may find it hard to leave. Chris? He disappeared. I clutched the button tighter. Maybe things can work out. 3 years later, I gulped nervously. Am I doing this right? Yes. Okay. I darted my eyes nervously. What brings you here? Oh my god. What brings you here, sinful human? A man shudders under. Oh my god, please. It's not reading what I think I'm reading. His feet. I am so sorry. I can give you everything I have back home, money, power. You dare offer me your measly human offerings. You will be in the 7th circle. I took a deep breath and shivered as the man got dragged off by another demon. So, what do I do? Just stand there and look pretty. Never realized being the boyfriend of Hell's ruler was such a easy job. I should have applied sooner. You are a strange human. I opened my mouth to retort. Correction. You are my strange human. I felt my insides melt a little. He was so cute. Although there were many ups and downs, Trice finally managed to convince his dad to let him take over as house ruler, with me as his assistant and boyfriend. There's a lot of stuff we still need to work out, like the fact that, you know, he's a demon and I'm human. But I know one thing for sure. Whatever we do, we'll do together.